Because Lord knows I don't want to forget to record, you know what I mean? And that has definitely happened before. All right. Mock draft, PFF. Yinka, can you see my screen?
I can, sir.
All right. So, Yinka, here we go. It's the two of us, the two people who've probably spent the least amount of time digging into prospects this year. Well, screw it. Here we go. Let us run through this thing. We're going to do a Vikings 7-round mock draft. I am
Okay.
here. I got JR's draft guide right here. I got the PFF big board here. I got a Reese consensus big board here. We're about to fire up the Pro Football Focus simulator. Are you ready, Yinka?
I guess so, son.
All right.
Guess so.
This is like, university where, you didn't really study, but, you got the Coles notes, you got the Cliffs notes in front of you here. You got some stuff you're going to cram real quick, and we're going to do this thing on the fly. So we got to make sure we have our parameters set. Prince, 7 rounds. Team, still the Vikings. That's still who we're riding with here.
Are we? You sure?
Yeah, we got to. All right.
Okay.
So of the parameters we're setting here, the big board, do you want it to be the Publix board, PFS board, 50-50? How do you want that to roll?
Let's go 50-50. Get a little bit of some of that public feel added to it.
All right. Teams are going to draft for needs. Obviously, we care about positional value, and we want this thing to be random because it's like we know who's supposed to go where anyway.
Exactly. We got to get it.
All right. Let's fire it up. No. And we're not doing any trades because that'll just make
no trades. I don't.
We're just I would just be trading back.
Exactly.
Back.
Yeah, like you would essentially be like that Arif mock draft where he had like 40-some picks or whatever.
We're just gonna ride with who comes up, and here we are. All right, it's our turn. Can you see the screen? Can you see who's up there? Can you see who's available? I'm gonna hit the drop down for you. We got Christian Fulton. Oh wow. Justin. Oh, we got a quarterback on the board, Yinka. So, I know you might like to do some things. We got Patrick Queen, linebacker, LSU. We got Becton, tackle, T. Higgins, Trayvon Diggs, AJ Terrell, Denzel Mims. Yinka, before you make your pick, tell me a little bit about what you see as the top needs for the Vikings, and then which of these players you think would be the best one to fill that need.
So as you know, Jayson, the Vikings have had a huge exodus of players this offseason. We've lost a lot on the defensive side of the ball. You traded Stephon Diggs away. You do have some holes on various positions for the Vikings. I think offensive line as a whole, I think you losing your top 3 corners, that created a huge hole. And then obviously losing Stephon Diggs again, you have another hole at wide receiver, not just at that 3 position we've been talking about for a number of years, but definitely at that other starter. Okay. The board has fallen probably roughly what we were thinking was going to. Now, I've kind of talked offline that, I'm definitely has been a proponent of going the cornerback and wide receiver combo. I think that's the best way that you can solve 2, in my opinion, the most pressing issues. But there is a name that has fallen that I was not expecting to be there.
Okay.
So at pick 22, I am actually going to go with Mekhi Becton, tackle of Louisville. Right. I think that fills a huge need for the Vikings. I know that corner is a huge need, but you still have some good prospects on the board, in my opinion. To maybe look at that at 25 or even a wide receiver, but I think the board has fallen where the Vikings need to take that pick.
All right. Well, let's just take a look before I go ahead and make it all the way official. We're looking at JR's big board here, and we got to go back up to the top. I was jumping ahead, but if we go back up to JR's big board here, JR has Becton. Let me make this easy on myself. So Arif has Becton at 13 in his big board. JR also has him ranked 13th. What I do know is that Pro Football Focus is a bit lower on him, so we're probably not going to get graded very well for this pick. But by consensus, you're getting good value for us here. So let's fire it up, draft him, on to the next one.
I feel good about the pick, and I definitely wanted to wait on offensive line, but I think a talent that, in my opinion, is top 15. In my opinion, he'd probably go in the first 15 selections. Drops you in 22. I think as far as the drop off that you get after Becton, definitely a good selection for me.
All right. Sorry about that. I had some trade offers coming in here, but we're not doing any trades. So put the phone down, keep it moving. And here we're back on the clock again. Xavier McKinney, safety Alabama. Patrick Queen still on the board. T. Higgins, Trayvon Diggs, AJ Terrell, Denzel Mims. What are you doing? You doubling down on offense here, or you going back to corner? Which one of the positions that you previously mentioned are you going to go and shore up here before we get to the first round?
You have a lot of, in my opinion, you have a lot of good talent that's still on the board. Obviously, having two first-round selections is really good. I'm not thinking linebacker. I think the Vikings are pretty solid there. So obviously, we're going to look at the needs, which, in my opinion, are cornerback or wide receiver. Now you have a guy like T. Higgins who is still on the board. You have Denzel Mims who's still on the board. You have Jalen Johnson, Jeff Gladney. I think you have a lot of talent that is there that you actually can take advantage of. But I think the Vikings' biggest need right now, after losing their top three starters, is a cornerback.
All right.
In my opinion, I think you have to go, with one of the top selections that are still on the board. And I think you have to go with Trevon Diggs, replacing the Diggs with the Diggs, and able to get it back.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So Yinka is going with the drama pick, bring in Stefan's little brother after we trade Stefan away.
Yeah. Got to keep that connection somehow. We got to get Diggs back somehow. So, maybe in a couple years when the Rick and Zim have moved on, new era, Teddy comes back after, something happens in Carolina, we can just bring the gang all back together. So
we can say that's probably not going to happen, but
probably not.
Here we go. We're back up now. Pick 58, Vikings in the second round. Here we go, Yinka. If there's any positions you want me to zoom in on for you here, this is the full list. Ashton Davis, Jonathan Taylor, don't you dare. Austin Johnson, tackle out of USC, Jonah Jackson, Terrell Lewis. What are you looking at here? There's a lot of positions, a lot of talent to choose from, Yinka. What's it going to be?
So here's the thing. I'm glad Austin Jackson obviously fell down. I think he would have been, if I didn't go tackle right away, I think that would have been a really nice selection here at 58. But the fact that you have another guy, I think we can, kind of pass on him. So with the guys on the board, you still have a safety in Ashton Davis. You still have some wide receivers that are still on the board. The Vikings we haven't selected a wide receiver as of yet. And I don't necessarily want to force a pick, but I think at this
point, sound like you're loving the value right here. It doesn't sound like
I'm not loving the value right here. I think would be a trade. In my opinion, if we had trades, this would be definitely a trade back scenario. Okay. But for the purposes of this all, I am going to still, try to get Vikings some value right here. So I will select Chase Claypool, wide receiver out of Notre Dame.
Chase Claypool. All right, let's just take a look. Let's see what other wide receivers are on the board. Oh, wow. Okay, so we got Chase Claypool, Tyler Johnson, Van Jefferson. All right.
Actually, you know what? The pick was not yet put on the card, was not in, so I will actually take Tyler Johnson out of Minnesota.
In the second round?
In the second round. He is just – I was going to wait till the third round, but I don't think he will be available at that time. So I'm gonna change my pick because we started writing the card. Someone tripped me as we were handing it over to sending the email to the commish. So we deleted it and we put Tyler Johnson out of Minnesota.
Tyler Johnson, Yinka taking no chances. Bringing Tyler back home. All right, let's keep this thing pushing along here. So It really looks right now like you're going very heavy on a needs-based type of draft, Yinka. You've gone after Tyler Johnson, a player who many thought would probably be there in the third or fourth. You've gone and brought the hometown kid back, Becton, polarizing player when you're comparing PFF versus consensus. But now here we are. We're back at 89,
Yeah,
and you kind of have a clean slate to do what you want here.
absolutely.
Now I can't really say shirt up because Lord knows we need some depth at cornerback, depth at wide receiver, but you've at least addressed like the main needs of the team. We're now at pick 89. What positions, before we start looking at the players, what positions are you going to be looking at this spot?
So I think when you get a guy like I got Becton obviously in the first round. So I think offensive line, I don't think it's set, but I think it's in a much better position than our cornerback and wide receiver. And we still have a safety position, in my opinion, you still have to worry about. You also have to worry about defensive line right now because you did lose Everson, you did lose Linval Joseph, and you likely have lost out on Everson Griffin. So you have to, you have to consider that. Like, what are the Vikings going to do? What are they going to do to fill those spots? So I'm going to probably hone in on a few positions. I'm going to hone in on corner. I'm going to hone in on wide receiver, and I'm also going to hone in on defensive line. So those are the top needs, and also safety as well too, because I think you need to kind of protect yourself.
You're looking at everybody right now. So you want me to hone in on wide receiver, cornerback, safety, defensive interior, and edge. All right. Here we are. Who are you picking?
Man, again, I feel like this would be another kind of trade back scenario. Not really loving the talent that I'm seeing right now, but at the same time, you have to. I think the Vikings need to start feeling some more of those needs. So I am actually going to go with surprising going here. I'm going to actually go with wide receiver.
Oh,
So I'm going to go with Van Jefferson out of Florida.
okay.
I think the Vikings really, really need to dip early at the wide receiver position, more so than anything else, just because they've been struggling with that. I think the exodus of Stephon Diggs is going to hurt a lot more than people think. I do believe in the guru that is Zim, as far as getting the cornerbacks where they need to be at, which is why I chose to get a cornerback first versus going to wide receiver first. So I think you need a little bit better talent there at wide receiver. So let's go with that.
All right. And that's not a position, a pick that, if we're looking at what JR's draft guide has to say here, I mean, early third round grade is what JR gave Van Jefferson. So, all right. Not so bad. Not so bad. Now here we are, pick 105. Again, you pretty much have an open slate to do whatever you want to. Let's take a look at who is on the board. All right. Malik Harrison, Lucas Yang. I mean, we're just going to skip over that running back. I know it's tempting you. Every time one of those comes up, we're just going to go right to the next one because we already got Dalvin, we got Madison, we got Boone. We're good. We don't need to do anything there. What positions are you looking at here? What are you thinking?
So I obviously talked about. I think we've adjusted a lot of what we need on the offensive side of the ball. We did get a guy early on as far as the defense side of the ball. So I think giving them another toy would be nice. So I think I'm probably going to hone in on something on the defensive line.
Okay.
So we have a couple picks there that the Vikings could select. You obviously have Kenny Wilkins out of Michigan State, Bradley Anney out of Utah, and you also have Khalid Kareem out of Notre Dame. I'm going to go with what the board's kind of giving me right now. I'm going to select Raekwon Davis out of Alabama. Losing a guy like Linval Joseph, you got to get some defensive interior, and I think that would be like a great place to select someone right there.
All right, so we've got ahead and we've got that pick in, and it's a great name, and nothing wrong with that. We need some more personality, some more names, and we got a little while till the next pick is up. So here we go, 132.
132.
What you thinking? What you thinking?
Honestly, at this point, I think you have filled most of your needs where you need to get guys at. So now you probably take in a couple of flyers. I think you still have some questions at the safety position, defensive end. I think you could still use another cornerback, safety. Um, Hell, you could use a tight end. But let's let's take a look to see what we have as far as value goes.
All right, let's see if there's any names jumping out at you here.
Thing about these draft sims, it's so great because you never know how the board's going to fall. So, all right.
You have some options. Nothing
crazy,
but
obvious.
there's a couple names that I'm noticing there that I've seen kind of fall into other versions of drafts. So I'm interested to see if you're gonna go with what others have, if you're gonna blaze your own path in this mock that is certain to make people very upset with you.
Yes, they're going to be very upset with me. So two names are really standing out to me, and it's depends on which way I want to go. The two names I'm looking at are Anthony Jennings out of Alabama, and I'm also looking at Jabari Zuninga out of Florida. I think the Vikings need to adjust the edge at some kind of way. This is obviously a little bit later than maybe some would have wanted to address, but I definitely feel like they need to address that at some point. So I'm going to pick Jabari Zuniga out of Florida.
Okay.
I think the Vikings could solidify either at least a depth guy or having a guy who could be a contributor on the edge. So.
All right. Well, we don't have his agility ratings here, but his speed score, burst score, and the like, they look very good on Player Profiler. Seems like the type of player the Vikings would look to pick and mold athletic specimens. So, I have nothing bad to say about that pick. You went another pick without getting a running back. So, I'm proud of you. Proud of you. All right. Last pick in the hundreds, Yinka. 155. So you got to make this one count. Let's see who is on the board for you.
Let's see who is on the board.
And I see the name I want. I see a couple names I like there. A couple names that I like. But, we'll see where you go.
Well,
so I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty surprised that you haven't looked to replace Kirk Cousins yet. But that's neither here nor there. We've probably passed all the prospects that'd be worth looking at in that regard. But I am surprised, given that it's you doing the draft.
So there are a couple names here. I know that people probably seeing, if they can see the board, I'm sure that they would love to go, Thaddeus Moss, having another Moss join the Vikings roster. I haven't been too impressed really with his impressed with his with things that I've seen as far as his tape and whatnot. So this is kind of, I'm going to say it's a blind pick, but it is a pick that makes the most sense given our brand and everything, being CDP. This man is actually one of us, and it would also satisfy getting this player. So I'm going to go with the safety out of Georgia, J.R. Reed. J.R. is coming home to Minnesota to come and play for us, and his mentions are going to be a mess for the next couple of years. So
the only pick that makes sense in that spot is J.R.
J.R. Reed.
All right.
The J.R. Reed.
The J.R. Reed. Let's see what J.R. had to say about himself.
That's gonna be a fun pick right there.
I mean, it's got to happen. Let's see. All right. Early 5th round grade. And he's, the son of Jake Reed. So, it's another one. We're bringing another one home. Bring another one. I know that was really the underlying reason behind why you wanted to do this. All right. So, Prince, we're now in the later rounds. So, less analysis. We're just going to try to
pound these out.
Get them out. Get them
straight
done.
from the hip. Most of these late round picks.
All right, so here we go. Vikings picking at 201. Some of the players on the board: Jared Pinkney, tight end from Vanderbilt; Reggie Robinson, the second cornerback; Laurel Murchison, defensive interior; Eno Benjamin, pass running back; Trey Adams, tackle; Josiah DeGuerra. Prince, looking at the full board, what are you seeing? Who do you like?
Yeah, admittedly, there's not a ton of people here that I'm familiar with. But, again, we are firing from the hip. So if we can scroll up just a little bit, I'm actually going to select Trey Adams, tackle out of Washington. I continue to want to keep giving some help on that offensive line and get guys in. So going with Trey Adams.
All right, Trey Adams, big corn-fed gentleman over here. 8. All right. And we're back again. 205. So it's all the same names, basically.
Yeah, it's basically all the same names. I'm going to. I held off this long, Jayson, but I have to finally select one. If you can scroll up, his name was there before. Scroll up a little bit. His name was there on the last round. I figured he'd still be around, so I'm going to go with Eno Benjamin, running back out of Arizona State.
It had to happen.
It had to happen. And honestly, the more guys that you can get, the less likely you are to have to pay one Dalvin Cook. So,
Okay, he comps to Duke Johnson on playerprofiler.com. There are worse players to be comped to than Duke Johnson.
There definitely are.
All right, so here we go. 219. Again, shooting from the hip here.
Shooting from the hip.
Board. Which position you going with here? You surprised? How many cornerbacks have you picked?
I feel like I've only selected one, so that's definitely on the top of the list.
Let's go over and see who's available then.
Yeah, let's see who's available.
Okay, Kindle Vildor.
There's also Miles Bryant, who is spelled like our Miles. Just for the purposes of I want to have an all CTB team, I'm going to select Miles Bryant, cornerback out of Washington.
All right, well, let's see.
I'm bringing Miles and JR home.
Well, this Miles might run the 40 about as fast as our Miles now, but I'm not sure if he's a fit. But who cares? People are gonna hate every pick in this draft as it is. We just out here living our lives, having some fun on the last night before the draft, and we're almost there. We're almost done. We've almost made it. All right, 2 picks to go. Pick 249. Carlos Davis, Casey Toohill, Colby Parkinson, Shaquille Quarterman, L'Jarius Sneed, Anthony McFarland Jr., LaMichael Green.
Can you scroll down? Because there might be a name that's there that I actually would know.
Okay.
Keep scrolling. I want to see if he's still around.
All right. I'm still going. What position are you looking at here, bud?
I think he'll either be considered a linebacker or defensive end.
Okay, all right. Well, let us see. All right, here we are. Do you see the name you're looking for?
I'm not. Keep scrolling. Or is that all the names that are there?
That's it.
Maybe he was already selected. All right. You can uncheck those, and I'll just fire from the hip then.
All right.
All right. I will select because we need one, and he's going to be our starter of the future. I'm going to select James Morgan, quarterback.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
What quarterbacks are left before we just get all impulsive here?
What quarterbacks are left?
Okay. That's what we got. Okay. This is James Morgan
There's Shea Patterson out of Michigan. That's so funny.
We're not doing that, though.
We're not doing that. We're definitely not doing that.
It's Yinka's pick for the Kirk Cousins of the future.
Yes, because that's what he is going to be.
All right. And here we go. Final pick. The last one here, after you picked a quarterback whose best comp is Tom Savage.
All right, let's see what we got on the board left. I think we've addressed most of our needs actually, which has been really, really nice. Pretty happy about how we started off the draft. So I think we just go and just get one more person that we might need. I will go with Colby Parkinson, tight end out of Stanford. Get
Okay.
another tight end to compete in camp.
Colby Parkinson.
Colby Parkinson.
Let's see what they have to say about our man Colby while this draft wraps up. And okay, best comparable player Jordan Leggett. And yeah, I mean, not much to say about that. Looks like he was a bit of a deep threat in college.
Yeah, very deep there. So deep we hadn't heard of him. So
Yeah, so here we go. If this thing will let me draft Cody or Colby, maybe it's because I'm not saying his name right.
yeah, they're like, you got to put respect on the name.
I don't know if we're picking Colby, bro.
Ooh,
I have to talk to Eric after this, you know? Tell him to get it right. Yeah. Oh,
I mean, if I can't select Col, I was gonna say if I can't select Colby, we have to throw the entire draft out. So
yeah, it looks like we got him. We got him. And
ooh,
slightly above average with the
ooh.
draft. But like I told you,
They really hated that Mekhi
they really
Becton
hate
pick.
that Becton pick. Like,
Yeah,
not loving that.
because honestly, even if I had an average selection there, like if I picked a corner or wide receiver at that time, if I picked T Higgins or something like that, I think we get probably in the 70s.
Yeah, no, we barely passed this one here. But
Yeah.
it's a toss-up. Russell Wilson's draft class got a C, and look at how they ended up turning out.
Exactly. See, and I got James Morgan, who's going to be our savior. So, I mean, what more do you need, really?
Well, Prince, I know you've been dying to just fire off some draft takes, talk a little bit about what's going on, get in on the fun here
Yeah.
on I'm in the Pocket Network. So, Prince, as always, thanks for coming on. Thanks for making time. Listeners, thanks for sticking with us. We will be doing this pretty much every night coming up here over the next couple of days. Instant reaction to all the picks made by the Vikings with analysis from your favorite people over at Climbing the Pocket. So, with that, we are up out of here. That's it. That's all. Y'all have a good one. Boom.